Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for this informational eSports Zoom call. I know maybe some of y'all are just finishing up your day. I appreciate you being here. I am Rhonda Smith, the Fine Arts Director of TAPPS. I'm also joined with Will Dixon, who is in our office. He's doing the media today and all audio. So hopefully we got on here and got some of it taken care of so we won't have any technical issues today. So I'm not going to spend too long talking, but we're so excited to be able to partner this year with Rally Cry or USAEL for our esports. We were kind of floundering after last year, and we think we have found a perfect platform. We did send out the form that had the intent to participate. We did not have great feedback. However, what we did is we went with the feedback we did get from all of those of you who were interested, and we are going to have 3 games that we're going to offer for TAPPS championships. And we also have with us Kevin He, who is from Rally Cry, and I'm going to turn it to him in a moment. But I am going to encourage you for this for the fall season. We're going to have 3 that will be TAPPS championships. We're going to do Super Smash 3v3, Super Smash Bros 1v1, and Rocket League. However, we do have another platform that is the USAEL Open that you will be able to do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to monitor how many of you actually play other games, which will then in turn let us know if there's going to be more games that we want to offer in the spring. So the more you participate, the more we're going to be able to grow this program. And we really do want it to be successful. And so for that to happen, we really need you guys to step up and participate and give us some feedback on what you're doing and the games that you're going to want to play. And so at this time, I'm going to turn it to Kevin. He is going to be the one that's going to kind of get you where he can get you on the platform and what we're going to go through for the season. So Kevin, take it away. The floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Kevin. I've been working in the K-12/collegiate esports space since like 2016. Used to be a part of Blizzard Esports like most of my team, and now we're really excited to be working with TAPPS and also several other state leagues to create a really awesome permanent home for your state's esports competitions. First off, I'd like to ask a question. Is anyone here participating in another state esports league like TEXA, for example? Yes, no, maybe? Not us. We are not at Kelly. Okay, awesome. Just wanted to ask, Texas is obviously a massive state for esports. And so I'm actually personally aware of at least 3 or 4 different state leagues within Texas. So we actually have a whole workflow for, if you want to be a part of multiple state leagues at once. But since no one here is, I will keep it simple and just talk about TAPPS today. Okay, awesome. So what do you need to know about TAPPS? I will share my screen. Okay, so at a really high level, what you need to know about TAPPS is it's very straightforward. We're going to have 3 different competitions. They're all high school competitions. One is Smash Ultimate Team Solos, which is a 3 versus 3 Smash Ultimate format. One of them is Smash Ultimate Solos, which is a 1 versus 1 Smash Ultimate format. And we're also going to have a Rocket League competition, which is 3v3. We're keeping it simple because it's the first time that Rhonda and Will are going to be using the platform too. And so we want to make everyone's lives easier, just keep it nice and simple. But we know that several of you are also interested in playing in other game titles. So at the end of this call, I will also go over some of the national titles that we offer through the USAEL Open in case you're interested. Rocket League will be 3v3 for TAPPS. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is how do you get onto the platform? It's super straightforward. I imagine Rhonda and Will probably send out some links, but the important thing to know is that we have a full platform registration guide that will help you through every single step. But since I have everybody here, I will just show you how it works. So here we go. Okay, so when you go to taps.rally.gg, the first thing you'll be asked for is an email address. This will apply whether you are doing this for the first time and you're creating an account, or if you're logging back in. So very straightforward. So I'll do boom, boom. And then afterwards, it will send a 6-digit code to the email address you just inputted, which is really easy. So I'll go ahead and copy that 6-digit code here, and then I'll sign in. Awesome. So the next step is age verification. Since this is a high school only competition, I don't think any of your kids will have trouble with age verification. This really only comes into play if you have students who are under the age of 13. But as coaches, obviously put your real date of birth. We don't save this information, don't worry. And then press continue. Afterwards, you'll get to give us a name and a username. This username will be how most other coaches and students on the platform see you. So you can call yourself like Coach Brian or Coach Jordan or whatever you want. And then agree to the terms of service and then continue. And then afterwards, it'll ask you what role you are for your school. For most of you, you'll select coach. For your students, they won't actually have to go through this process because I'll show you a way to invite students to your team. But in theory, they would select player. If you are a school administrator, like a principal, you can go ahead and select school administrator as well. But for most of you, coach is probably the easiest option. After you select coach, it will ask you to either search for a school that already exists in our platform or to create a new one. I don't think that we have any schools set up for TAPPS yet. So for most of you, you'll go through the process of registering a new school for TAPPS. The new school registration process is really simple. You can click register new school, and then can someone here shoot me the name of their school in chat? Lake Hill Preparatory School. Awesome. So we use the NCS database for everything. It's a really awesome national public database of public and private schools. So if you type in a school name in the school creation process, it'll first look for your school in the NCS database. If you see it, you should select it because it'll give you the NCS verified tag. If you don't see it, that's totally possible. The NCS database doesn't cover all schools. It doesn't cover like home schools and some like more like parochial schools. But if you do see it, you can select it, and then it'll fill in a lot of the information for you. For example, the location, the grade levels, the school type, stuff like that. You don't have to do this. You can also just type in a school name and like fill out everything yourself. But if the NCS verification exists, it's awesome and it does a lot of the work for you. Then you can optionally put in a location. The location is technically captured through NCS, but this location is just a separate like data tag for if Rhonda wants to see a map of all the schools and TAPPS, you'll be able to see it too. So we could put like Dallas. And then if NCS doesn't give us your school district, then you'll be able to also type in a school district. And then lastly, if you want, you can put in a school email domain. So for example, if you have an email that all coaches at your, or all staff at your school use. So for example, like at lakehillpreparatory.com or something like that, you can type that in and it'll make it easier for future coaches to sign up, but you don't have to, and you can just click register. Afterwards, you can select whether you want your real name to be visible to other people at your school. You don't have to check any of these boxes. And then afterwards, it'll ask you to upload some coach verification. In most cases, what we're ideally looking for is like a teacher ID or something like that. But if Rhonda knows you, you can actually just upload whatever you want. And then click submit. After you submit your verification, pay stub is fine. We don't save any of the information. Don't worry, it gets deleted right after verification. So you can upload whatever you want. But Rhonda will probably recognize you, and she'll be the one approving. Once you submit your application in, what Rhonda will see is she'll go over to admin settings, and then she'll go to approvals, and then she'll see the Lake Hill preparatory application that I just submitted. She can look at whatever document I uploaded, and then she can click accept. And then once she clicks accept, actually, I'll just go ahead and verify Christian over here. And also Brian, because I see you all on this call. After she does that, then I should be onto the platform. So that's it. That's the registration process. Pick a name, verify your email, verify your age, tell us what school you're a part of, tell us that you're a coach, and then you're onto the platform, which is great. Now, the next step is, how do you sign your students up to play? Well, first off, if you go to schools, now Lake Hill Preparatory School exists. And if I look under my schools, it'll show that I am a member of Lake Hill Preparatory School, which is awesome. So now what I can do is I can go to teams, and I can make a team for my students. This part is really easy. Let's say that I'm making a team for like Rocket League. So I'll call this Lake Hill Prep Rocket League. And then I'll pick what school this team is representing. So in this case, Lake Hill. And then I'll click submit. And then it'll make a team page. As you can see, I am the owner of this team page, which basically means I'm managing it. And then now all that's left is I have to get my students in here. So the easy way to get your students in here is to just use this copy invite link button. And what it'll do is it will put an invite link directly in your browser. And then if you give that invite link to your students, the invite link will just look like this, basically. It will put them through the registration flow, but it'll precede them for your team. So it won't ask them for verification. All it will ask them for is to set up an email and a username, and then tell us that they're a player. And then afterwards, it'll plop them directly into your team. So we'll actually go ahead and do that just so you can see what it looks like. So if I use that same invite link, it'll take me to this team. So this is what your students will see. They'll click join, and then it'll put them through the verification process. So they'll say the same thing, September 9th, 1994. That's my real birthday. I'm very old. And then they'll use an email address. So they'll do that. They'll get a code just like before. They'll click sign in. It'll ask them for name. And then they'll select player. If your players try to select coach, by the way, it'll ask them for verification because we don't want your kids pretending to be coaches. But if they select player, it will just plop them directly into your team. Boom. So now, as you can see, there's two members of this team. There's my first account that I created, which is the owner, and then the second account I created, which is the player. So with that in mind, I will go back to the first account I created. after you sign in once, it'll be really easy. Actually, I'll just do it like this. Yeah. So once you have like players inside your team, all you have to do is click the register for competition button, and then you'll select one of these 3 competitions to register to. So in this case, Rocket League. And then, as you can see, you'll be able to see both of the players that you have on the team. Technically, this person is a coach. So if I didn't want, if this account right here was the coach and I didn't want that to actually be a player, I would select coach. And then you could select your other players as like players or subs. It'll tell you if you don't hit the minimum player count. Obviously, this Rocket League competition requires 3 people. This team only has 1 coach and 1 player, so it's definitely not enough to register. You can still register. It'll just remind you later that you need to add more members, and then you'll click register, and then that'll register your team for the competition. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to cause Jordan any trouble, but yeah, that's basically how the whole process works. It's very simple. You create a team, you tell the team which school it's a part of, you invite your players, they'll join, and then you register for a competition. And then once you're registered for a competition, as many competitions as you want, you're pretty much done for the next couple weeks. We will be hosting a preseason, and you can see the full schedule for each competition if you go to the competition page and scroll down. So for example, preseason week 1, the check-in will be Friday, September 11th. You don't have to play in preseason, but if you want to try it out, just get your students warmed up. You can check in at this time, and then we'll assign you a match. And then the regular season, which is the official TAPPS competitive season, will start the week afterwards. So you'll check in on the weekend of September 18th, and then you'll play a match on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, depending on the game title, on the 22nd and 24th. And that continues for pretty much the entire season, 1 match per week. Very nice and simple until the season's over. So it'll be really easy. But for now, like I said, all you have to worry about doing is making an account, joining or creating a school, setting up teams for your students, inviting your students, and then registering for the competition. Very easy. And all of this is covered in the registration guide, which will look like this. It'll have like step-by-step screenshots to help you along the way. And if you are curious where you can find more like general information, if you go to the Home tab or the Resources tab, we have 3 resources set up for all of our coaches. The first one is the Registration and Team Creation Guide, which is that step-by-step guide I told you about. The next one is the IT and Whitelisting Guide. That one will look like this. It is a guide you can hand to your IT department to help make sure that you and your students can access this platform. So there will be some whitelisting requirements for like domains that need to be whitelisted. And there's also installation and network requirements for each game title. So for example, if we go over to Rocket League, it'll tell you like what firewall exceptions it needs, what the port forwarding requirements are, stuff like that, what platforms it can be played on. We also have a section for like PC specifications, if you're curious. It's a very long document, but it's really intended for your IT teams, not for you. So this is just something that you can casually hand to your IT team and say, we're playing in Rocket League and Smash. Please make sure that we can do so from our school's network, which is great. And then the second thing is we also have an official TAPPS rulebook, which you may be interested in as coaches. So if you click on this one, it'll take you to the official TAPPS competition rulebook, which all of you will have access to. It'll cover everything from the season calendar to eligibility requirements, definitions, regular season, how we do tiebreakers, registration process, how the weekly check-in works, how we handle reschedules and buys and holidays, coach responsibilities, and then it'll have individual rule sets for each of the game titles. This is probably the most important thing that you'll want to look at as coaches. All of these game rules are pretty stock standard for K-12. We try to keep our rule sets as simple and streamlined as possible so you don't have too much to worry about as a coach. And if any of you have played in, for example, like Play VS or any of the other state esports leagues before, these game rules will be very familiar to you. The last thing I'll say about these game rules is that we're very flexible. We're working really closely with Rhonda and Will to make sure that this league is awesome for all of you and your students. So if you're looking at this rule set and you think to yourself, oh, like Monday is a bad day for me, like, can we have these on like Tuesdays instead? Or if you say, oh, I would, best of 5 series is like, it's too much. It's, my students don't have that much time to play. Can we make this a best of 3? I would recommend that you take that feedback and let Rhonda and Will know. And we have several weeks before the season starts, so there's plenty of time for us to adjust the rule set and try to make it a good fit for everybody here, since I know we have like a really tight cohort. So feel free to send as much feedback as you want about the rule set, the schedule, stuff like that to Rhonda, and then she and I will confer and make sure that that we try to accommodate the best that we can. So yeah, that's basically it. I think I've covered just about everything. If any of you are playing in another league, so for example, TexF, and you want to know how you can link your school for another league on our platform to this one, feel free to let me know, and I'll share more information about how you can do that, so you don't have to like create the same school 2 times in 2 different leagues. But otherwise, I would be happy to take any questions that you all might have about the platform or about the league or about how to sign up.
I wanted to let everyone know too, because I know some of you got in here late. We were recording this, so if you need to go, we will be posting this on the eSports page. So if you didn't catch all of it, or even if you did and you want to go back and rewatch some of it, we are going to be posting it after we're done. So you may have missed something, but you won't miss everything, because we'll go back and post this. Please let Kevin know if you have any questions.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Laura.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I missed the beginning. I'm so sorry. I couldn't find the contact, and I had a fine art meeting at the same time, and it was just crazy. So I apologize. But did you already go over like what the list of option games are? Will they be at the beginning of the video?
Yes. So we're going to have 3 game titles for TAPPS specifically. There's going to be Smash Ultimate Solos, which is 1 player, and there's going to be Smash Ultimate Team Solos, which is 3 player. And then we're going to have Rocket League, which is 3 player. So only 3 game, technically 2 game titles with 2 formats for Smash for TAPPS. But if you are interested and your students are interested in any other game titles for the USAEL Open, which is our national competition, we have a lot of game titles. So we have, Minecraft, Mario Kart, chess, Tetris, Overcooked, Brawlhalla, Pokemon, Splatoon.
My kids
Overwatch,
want chess.
Marvel Rivals. Sorry, what?
My kids want chess.
Laura's wanting chess, so this is probably where she's going to want to go, because her kids are going to want to play chess. This is their first year to do this.
And they've been hounding me for chess, and I'm like, I can't start a chess club right now. And then I heard the possibility that there was a way I could get chess. I'm not saying that they wouldn't necessarily want to be involved in the other as well, but that's definitely something I need to hook into. So
yeah. So it's actually really easy. First off, the USAL Open is free, and it's also national. So there's no restrictions on joining. You can be in as many leagues as you want and also play in the USAL Open. And you can also do so with 1 account and 1 school. There's 2 ways to do that. One is you could make an account on play.usacademicesports.com and create an account here and create a school here, play in these competitions, and you can join TAPPS later. Or you can create an account on TAPPS first. If you create an account on TAPPS and then you go to the competitions section, you'll see a thing here that says discover more organizations. If you click see more, you guys won't be able to see all of this. I'm an admin, but you'll be able to find the USAL Open. It'll be really easy to find because you'll honestly only see like 2. And then if you click on this, it'll give you the option to join the USAL Open with your school. So what that means is, for example, if I'm Lake Hill Preparatory School, I'm actually going to impersonate this person. So this person that I'm impersonating is the coach of Lake Hill Prep. They can go to competitions, click see more organizations, and then they'll see USAL Open. And then there will be a button that says join with your school. And if you do that, it will basically take this Lake Hill Preparatory School that was created on TAPPS and then add it to the schools list for the USAL Open. And then you'll be able to go to the USAL Open website, log in with the same email, and then you'll still have your school and your teams carried over from TAPPS and vice versa, depending on which one you start at first. And then you'll be able to register for competitions in the exact same way. So you don't need to make a new account and a new school and new teams for both. You can just start with one and then join the other and then use the same school and the same teams.
Okay. And can I ask, I don't want to monopolize, but one other quick question, because again, I kind of came in, you were talking about what the coaches need. Is all, like, I've never coached this before. I've coached every sport in the world for girls, but I've never coached anything in esports. Is there like a training manual or like guide of what you would need in order to be a competent coach?
So yes and no. What we do have is we'll have this registration guide, which will take you through all the steps that you need to know, from making an account to inviting students to your team and registering those teams for competitions. And then what we also have is in the rule book for TAPPS, there will be a section called Coach Responsibilities.
Yes.
We try to make this really easy. And honestly, it should be pretty easy because most of the time your students will know what to do if they want to play. But for the most part, as a coach, what you're responsible for is when the season starts, you'll check your team in every week. Just say, my team is ready to play, which is basically one click. You'll just click a button that says join queue. And then you'll make sure that your students know when the match is happening. For TAPPS, we have default times on, I think, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or something like that, where the matches are happening. So you'll just tell your students, like, hey, make sure you're ready at these times. And then when the match starts, when you're assigned your opponent, it'll give you a little chat box with the other team's coach where you can talk to them. And most of the time, the only thing you need to do as a coach is basically say, okay, like, we're ready. And then one of your students or one of the other team students will make a lobby for the game and send an invite link in the chat, or like an invite code or something like that. And all you have to do is make sure that your students join the lobby and then play the game. It's very, very straightforward. I'm saying this more generally because for every game, the join and invite process is a little bit different. But your students will basically know how it works for the most part. So all you have to do as a coach is, like, make sure they're there at the right time. Make sure you talk to the other coach if there are any, like, disputes that happen. And then after the match, make sure that if you're the team that wins, that you submit scores, which we'll also have like a guide for. So it's pretty straightforward, and you can mostly lean on your esports students to handle a lot of the heavy lifting for you.
Okay. That answers, I mean, like, I need to go back and watch the rest of the video and read the rule book, but I can do that. So
yeah,
that answers a lot of it.
Good.
If you have any questions, Laura, you can always send them to Will or we'll send them to me and Will. And if we don't know the answer, we have Kevin.
Top of the head, can you tell me the beginning of the season again? When
Say
the
that again?
season's on the top, beginning of the season.
Oh, it's actually in the rule book. Let me find it.
Yeah, I know I can go back and read, but I just how much time I have to plan.
So the preseason will officially start exactly 1 month from now.
14.
So the actual week is the 14th, but you'll be able to check in for preseason on the 11th. Thank you, Christian. So you'll check in, you'll be assigned a match, assuming enough people sign up for preseason.
You do not have to do preseason, Laura.
Okay.
But it's a good thing if you want to. That way you get used to the platform and things like that, and your kids get used to it. But it's not required to do preseason. You can just go to the regular season. I would suggest doing the preseason just to get your.
Yeah, because I've not done, like I said, this is not my niche, but everything becomes my niche. So I have to figure it out.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's a great way to just make sure that like all your IT stuff is sorted out, because if there are any IT issues, you don't want it to happen during a regular season match, because you don't want to like accidentally have to forfeit your match because your students can't like get their Nintendo online membership working or something like that. So it's a great way to just test things out. And then the actual season will start on September 21st. It'll run through November. So 8 weeks of regular season. And then at the end of the regular season, we'll take the top teams and invite them to a playoffs bracket, which will run for 3-ish weeks. And then at the end of the playoffs bracket, we will have a champion for each of the game titles.
All right. One more question. I'm going to drive you guys crazy. And again, it's in here, I'm sure. But in addition to the sign up cost, the registration costs, what are the additional, and having equipment, what are the additional costs? Is it per game? Is it per student?
Rhonda, I think that might be a you question.
Do we? I think at the beginning, when you do your participation forms,
yes,
there's a small fee, and off the top of my head, I can't remember, and it's just to help for the whole thing. But as far as on here, does not cost. I think there's I can't remember what it is. Let me look it up. I'm so sorry. Let me look it up, and I will get back to you.
No apologize.
But it's at the beginning, just a very nominal fee. But it's just for the whole season.
Okay.
It's not per game. I'm going to get that to you. I'm so sorry.
No, please don't apologize. I'm the one that popped on late. Like I said, it just
no, you're good.
My meeting went late, and I couldn't find the link.
Whoever does your contract and your participation fees, they will be able to see that.
Yeah, my AD does it. I'm heading out. She has volleyball practice right now because I do the junior. I'm already done.
Yeah, you can also go to the fine art page on the website.
Yes.
If you go to fine arts, and right beside the word fine arts, it says fine art fees, and it may be listed there. If not, I'll get it for you and I'll shoot it to you.
And I may even have one printed out. I got 42,000 papers, but I may have one printed out.
I understand that. I feel that.
You feel me on that? I need a bigger cork board. My cork board is tripled up right now.
I would get that. I'll get that to you guys.
Okay, sounds good. All right. I mean, that's all I have right now. Like I said, I got to go back and read everything. I just know that I've got at least 4 boys.
That's awesome.
Super interested.
Good.
So,
and if they want to do chess and they want to do one of the others, the solo smash,
I think they might.
Like that. Yeah.
Like I don't think I don't think it's necessarily exclusive to chess. That was just they wanted me to start a chess club, and can we do this and this and that? And then you said at the meeting, I'm like, that'd be so much easier on me than a chess club.
Yeah. Just let them do that. Do any of you others have questions? Those of you who are on here have any questions? I'm blind and I can't see names. But if anybody has questions while we have Kevin, please. He is our fountain of information. No other questions.
No,
that's great. That means I just did a perfect job explaining everything.
Perfect job. That's right. Everybody knows everything, and everybody's going to go back and watch this again. I can tell you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, if there's nothing else, you went through the open and all that good kind of stuff. So if there's nothing else that you have for them, I really do. I don't know. Yeah, I get that. I don't know what I don't know. I get that. Yeah, but when you do have questions, you know who, shoot them to us, Rhonda at taps.biz, or you can do info@taps.biz, and Will or I will get that, and we'll get to Kevin, and we'll get you guys taken care of. And I'm excited. The more we get involved in this, the bigger we can blow this up and have more teams and more games to play as a championship for TAPPS. So, Kevin, I really do appreciate you taking time. Kevin's in California, so he's 2 hours behind us. So,
you're in California.
Oh, I live in San Francisco.
Okay, I'm a California native. I grew up in Santa Maria.
Oh my God!
Yes, born and raised.
Small world here. So, all right. Well, then we're going to run from here. But like I said, we'll get this posted on the eSports page for anybody that didn't make it. I'll send out an email with this link and all that kind of stuff, and we'll get that out there. And I'll get questions answered for any of you who have those. But other than that, you guys have a great afternoon and a great year. Have a great year, and hopefully we'll see a lot of you on here.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Oh, Christian, how do I know when competitions are? Once you register to the platform, you'll be able to see all the competitions in the competitions tab, and all the competition schedules are also in the rule book, which I'm sure Rhonda will send out.
Yes.
So everything you need to know is in there.
Yep. I'll get that posted.
I'll actually just drop the rule book link in chat for you.
Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, there you go. All right. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Bye.
So Christian, if you go down to section 4 game rules, next to each of the game titles, it'll say default match time. So for example, for Smash Ultimate Team Solos, it's Monday at 4 p.m. Central Time. So that is the default time for Smash Team Solos matches. But you're assigned an opponent every week. And if you want to work with your opponent to just like pick a new time, that's totally okay. We just have a default time because it makes it easier for people to kind of schedule around. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.